Good morning. It's Thursday, February 22nd. And in my career as a ranter, which is quite long, but the real crux of my career started at the beginning of the pandemic when I was kind of trapped in the house for a while and I decided to do my character every single day. And twice during this period of time, that's over 3 years now, I have been suspended by YouTube because they misinterpreted what I said. Whatever their software is for examining what the character in the system is saying is faulty. And they picked up a couple of words and they declared that they were just discriminatory or vulgar, whatever the excuse was. And I complained and I wrote them, and in one day I was released. I was back in action and my character was working again. So when I read that Navalny's wife, who opened a Twitter account and had 90,000 people on it, I have nowhere near 90,000 people on my account, and her account was then shut down for the same reason that I had been shut down. Somebody misinterpreted what she had said, or the software misinterpreted it. It's probably the software because they don't have people looking and listening to the rants or the whatever speeches or actions or whatever's going on there. They don't really have people watching it. It's software that's watching it. So the software interpreted the meaning of what she was saying. I'm assuming she was speaking in Russian or something like that. I don't think she was on Twitter, or X as it's called now, speaking English. But that's a guess because I didn't get on there to follow her. But in any event, she was reinstated. And I'm glad she was reinstated. I'm glad she's out there taking up the mantle for her husband, because the Russians are not good people. And I'm not talking about the average citizen. I'm talking about the leadership in Russia. Putin is a dictator, plain and simple. And he does what dictators do. His opponents are either jailed or murdered, or else they leave the country and they attempt to fight from the outside. And we see that all the time. And Navalny's brother is an outcast for many years already. And they have a sentence waiting for him for 3 years on some trumped-up charge. So the Navalny family is really in bad shape, standing up to the dictator Putin. And Navalny's mother has been standing outside the prison or the place, whatever it is, where Navalny's body is lying. Because she wants her body, she wants to take her son home and give him a proper burial. But the Russian authorities have told her she's going to have to wait another 2 weeks before they release the body. But she's there every day. And why? Why does she have to wait 2 weeks? My guess, and the guess of some of my cronies, is that the poison will disappear from his system in about 2 or 3 weeks, if ever. And they don't want anybody getting their hands on this body and examining it and being able to tell the rest of the world the truth about how he died. Yes, he was run down and very weak and sick probably from the treatment that he was getting in prison. But I think that they fed him something, or maybe they even injected something into his system that hastened his death. When you saw his picture and when you listened to him speak, it was obvious that this guy had been a strong man prior to running into the fangs of the Russian government. And in my mind, returning to Russia was a very stupid thing to do, knowing full well that the Russians kill their opponents. But he did that. because he believed in his cause. He believed he was fighting for people. He believed in getting rid of Putin. And we know that that will be the most difficult job for anybody. The only way that Putin is going to leave that post is when he dies. So it was senseless for him to go back and put his life on the line. But he did it, and he paid the ultimate price. And now his mom stands out in front of the prison begging for his body. Is that a disgrace? A disgrace to Russia? A disgrace to Putin that this woman is out there pleading for the body of her son? She's 69 years old. I don't know how healthy she is. Younger than most of the people that look at my rant. And it's probably a very hard life she's leading. And she's still in Russia. She didn't abandon the country. She probably shouldn't be there. She probably should be there with her daughter-in-law, fighting online, on X, to get the Russian people to revolt against Putin. But right now, her main concern is getting the body of her son and giving him the burial that he deserved. And the world is watching. And Putin is not paying attention so much. But maybe he is. But he's got his hands full with the Ukraine, too. And that's an entirely different story, which I don't want to get into today. But I do have an idea. I think Mrs. Navalny should get hold of Donald Trump because Trump is a great admirer of Putin. And maybe she could convince Donald Trump to speak on her behalf to get the body released. You know, Trump is a great admirer. Trump loves Putin. So if Trump wants to be a world figure in the Putin category, then he would be perfectly willing to step forward on behalf of this poor woman and ask Putin to please release the body. Don't you think that's a good idea? Don't you think that Trump's minions would love him even more if he came to the aid of a widow? I think that's terrific. I think the mere fact that Trump loves Putin is a good reason for him to drop out of the presidential race in this country. And I think that his admirers, knowing that he loves Putin, should think 2 or 3 times before they continue this silly thing about voting for him. But if Trump wanted to win the election, perhaps stepping forward to aid Mrs. Navalny would help him, because that maybe he's not so much for Putin as the rest of the world thinks he is. So I leave you with that this morning. Crazy ideas and a terrible, terrible situation overseas. Have a great day. Bye.